17 when he turned 21. Even with some foolish things he could have left alone, but he had to try to satisfy a thirst he couldn't name, driven toward the darkness by the devils in his vein. All around the honky-tonks searching for a sign, getting by on getting high on women, words and wine. Some folks called him crazy, Lord, and others called him free. We just called us lucky for the love of Billy D. Busy going his own way and speaking his own words, facing and forgetting everyone that he heard, making friends and taking any crazy chance he could, getting busted for the bad times and believing in the good. Billy took a beating from a world he meant no harm. The score was written in the scars upon his arm. Some felt he was paying for the life he tried to lead. All we felt was sorry for our good friend Billy D. It may be his soul was bigger than a body's ought to be, singing songs and bringing laughter to the likes of you and me. The world he saw was sadder than the one he hoped to find. It wasn't near as lonesome as the one he left behind. Yesterday they found him on the floor of his hotel, reaching for the needle, Lord, it drove him down to hell. Some folks called it suicide and others blamed the speed. We just called it crucified with Billy D.O.D. Thank you. I heard the front door closing softly as I awakened from my sleep, with the last touch of her soft lips, like a whisper on my cheek, and I cursed the sun for rising, for the worst was yet to come, 'cause this morning she's just leaving, but come sundown she'll be gone. See the lipstick on the pillow that I placed beneath her head, and the soft sheets still feel warm there where she lay on my bed, and it hurts to know it's over, for the hurt has just begun. she's just leaving. But come sundown, she'll be gone. Thank you. My good friend, the late great Mickey Newberry, great singer-songwriter, told me that that was the best song I'd ever written. I'm not sure I agree with him, but it was words like that that kept us going back during the hard times before anybody was recording my songs. And then when they kept not recording my songs, I wrote about that. I come from just the other side of nowhere to this big time lonesome town. Got a lot of ice and snow here, half as cold as all the people I found. Every way I've tried to go here seemed to bring me down. I've seen about enough to know where I belong. I got a mind to see the headlights shining on that old white line between my heart and home. Sick of spending Sundays wishing they were Mondays, sitting in a park alone. So give my best to anyone who's left to ever done me any loving way but wrong. Tell them that the pride of just the other side of nowhere, going home, taking nothing back to show there for these dues I've paid. But the soul I've almost sold here, the body I've been giving away, fading from the neon nighttime glow here, heading for the light of day, just the other side of nowhere, going home. Thank you. I kept writing songs and they kept not recording them, and I had a bunch of other jobs while I was waiting to make it as a songwriter, and my marriage was falling apart, so I took my little girl, who was about 7 years old at the time, and I took her down to the tavern where I was working, which was also a problem why my marriage was breaking up. But I took her down there to say goodbye to our friends there, and when I was walking through the door, I heard one of the regulars that there say, "Look there, there comes Jody, there comes Critter and the Kid." So that put a seed in my brain for what eventually became this song. And I write better songs than I talk, so I'm sorry. She would meet me in the morning on my way down to the river, waiting patient by the China berry tree. Her feet already dusty from the pathway to the levee, and her little blue jeans rolled up to her knees. I'd pay her no attention, and she tagged along beside me, trying hard to copy everything I did. But I couldn't keep from smiling when I'd hear somebody saying, "Look yonder, there goes Jody and the Kid." Even after we grew older, we could still be seen together, as we walked along the levee holding hands. 'Cause as surely as the seasons she was changing to a woman, I'd lived enough to call myself a man. And she often lay beside me in the coolness of the evening, till the morning sun was shining on my bed. And at times when she was sleeping, I'd smile when I'd remember how they used to call us Jody and the Kid. Now the world's a little older, and the years have changed the river, 'cause there's houses where they didn't used to be. And on Sundays I go walking down the pathway to the levee with another little girl who follows me. And it makes the old folks smile to see her tag along beside me, doing little things the way her mama did. But it gets a little lonesome when I hear somebody saying, "Looky yonder, there goes Jody and the Kid." Thank you. One of the regulars there at the bar at the tavern was a grizzled little songwriter named Danny Dill, and he'd written some classic country songs. My favorite was the Long Black Veil. Anyway, he was a tough-looking customer. He came up there to the bar, and I slid him a beer, and he said he had just heard Roy Drusky singing that song there, Jody and the Kid, on the car radio, and he said he had to pull over to the side till he stopped crying. And I felt like I'd just been handed the Nobel Prize for Literature. Anyway, see him wasted on the sidewalk in his jacket and his jeans, wearing yesterday's misfortunes like a smile. Once he had a future full of money, love, and dreams, which he spent like they was going out of style. And he keeps right on changing, the better or the worse, searching for a shrine he's never found. Never knowing if believing is a blessing or a curse, or if the going up was worth the coming down. He's a poet, he's a picker, he's a prophet, he's a pusher, he's a pilgrim and a preacher, and a problem when he's stoned. He's a walking contradiction, partly truth, partly fiction, taking every wrong direction on his lonely way back home. He has tasted good and evil in your bedrooms and your bars. He's traded in tomorrow for today, running from his devil's lord and reaching for the stars, and losing all he loved along the way. But if this world keeps right on turning, for the better or the worse, and all he ever gets is order and around, from the rocking of the cradle to the rolling of the hearse, the going up was worth the coming down. He's a poet, he's a liar, he's a prophet, he's a dreamer, he's a pilgrim and a preacher, and a problem when he's stoned. He's a walking contradiction, partly truth, mostly fiction, taking every wrong direction on his lonely way back home. And there's a lot of wrong directions on that lonesome way back home. Thank you. It was wintertime in Nashville, down on Music City Road. I was looking for a place to get myself out of the cold, to warm the frozen feeling that was eating at my soul, keep the chilly wind off of my guitar. My thirsty wanted whiskey, my hungry needed beans. But it'd been a month of payday since I'd heard that eagle scream. So with a stomach full of empty and a pocket full of dreams, I left my pride and stepped inside a bar. Actually, I guess you'd call it a tavern. Cigarette smoke to the ceiling, sawdust on the floor. Friendly shadows. I saw that there was just one old man sitting at the bar. In the mirror I could see him checking me and my guitar. And he turned and said, "Come up here, boy, and show us what you are." I said, "I'm dry." He bought me a beer. He nodded at my guitar and said, "It's a tough life, ain't it?" I just looked at him. He said, "You ain't making any money, are you?" I said, "You've been reading my mail." He just smiled and said, "Let me see that guitar. I got something you ought to hear." Then he laid it on me. If you waste your time talking to the people who don't listen to the things that you are saying, who do you think's gonna hear? And if you should die explaining how the things that they complain about are things they could be changed, who do you think's gonna care? There were other lonely singers in a world turned deaf and blind, who were crucified for what they tried to show. And their voices have been scattered by the swirling winds of time, 'cause the truth remains that no one wants to know. Well, that old man was a stranger, but I'd heard his song before. Back when failure had me locked out on the wrong side of the door, when nothing stood behind me but my shadow on the floor. And lonesome was more than a state of mind. See, the devil haunts a hungry man. If you don't want to join him, you gotta beat him. I ain't saying I beat the devil, but I drank his beer for nothing. Then I stole his song. And you still can hear me singing to the people who don't listen things that I'm saying, praying someone's gonna hear. I guess I'll die explaining how the things that they complain about are things they could be changed, hoping someone's gonna care. I was born a lonely singer and I'm bound to die the same, but I gotta feed the hunger in my soul. If I never have a nickel, I will never die ashamed, 'cause I don't believe that no one wants to know. Thank you.
the great old featherweight boxing champion, Willie Pep, who's no longer with us. Well, he was talking about the life expectancy of a fighter. And he said the first thing to go is your legs, then it's your reflexes, then it's your friends. This is called the last thing to go. The angels were singing a sad country song. It sounded like something of yours, with a conscience as clear as the tear in your eye, and a heart beating golden and pure. And I felt all the feelings we set down in song, torn from the body and soul, and the fortunes that faded like stars into daylight, teardrops we turned into gold. Every hard rock and wreck on the highway, every heartbroken rule of the road, every true thing we wrote on the wind is still singing. Love is the last thing to go. Love is the reason we happened at all, and it paid for the damage we done, and it bought us the freedom to fall into grace on our way to our place in the sun. Every hard rock and wreck on the highway, every heartbroken rule of the road, every true thing we wrote on the wind is still singing. Love is the last thing to go. Thank you. It takes one to know one, baby. I know how you feel. You got your hunger and some problems that are real, and you're dealing with some demons who are driving you insane. And I seen them drag you screaming down the hallways of your brain, and you got loaded again. Ain't you handsome when you're high? Oh, nothing matters. Chase the feeling till you die. Let it ride on in there, baby. Let it run your life. Let it run your children off, and let it run your wife. Let it take the joy you love and turn it to despair. You know you knew better, baby. You just didn't care, 'cause you were loaded again. Tell the truth. Ain't you handsome when you're high? You can't help it. Oh, nothing matters. Chase the feeling till you die. Dylan, but it's all we got here. Blame it on the moonlight, baby. Think of number one. Tangled up into it, you were shining like the sun. With a pretty piece of hunger, who was younger than her eyes. On a scale of cosmic thunder, it's a wonder you're alive and you were loaded again. Ain't you handsome when you hide? Whoa, nothing matters. Chase a feeling till you die. Thank you. Young enough to believe in revolution. Am I strong enough to get down on my knees and pray? And am I high enough on the chain of evolution to respect myself and my brother and my sister and perfect myself in my own peculiar way? I get lazy, forget my obligations. I'd go crazy if I paid attention all the time. And I want justice, but I'll settle for some mercy on this holy road through the universal mind. Am I young enough to believe in revolution? Am I strong enough to get down on my knees and pray? And am I high enough on the chain of evolution to respect myself and my brother and my sister and perfect myself in my own peculiar way? I got lucky, I got everything I wanted, I got happy. There wasn't nothing else to do, and I'd be crazy not to wonder if I'm worthy of the part I play in this dream that's coming true. Am I young enough to believe in revolution? Am I strong enough to get down on my knees and pray? And am I high enough on the chain of evolution to respect myself and my brother and my sister and perfect myself in my own peculiar way? Thank you. Look at that old photograph. Is it really you? Smiling like a baby full of dreams. Smiling ain't so easy now. Some are coming true. Nothing simple as it seems. But I guess you count your blessings with the problems you're dealing with today, like the changing of the season. Ain't you come a long way? Ain't you come a long way down this old road? Looking at a looking glass, running out of time on a face you used to know. Traces of the future lost in between the lines. One more rainbow for the road. Thinking of the faces in the window that you passed along the way. way. Ain't you come a long way down this old road? Say you tried to chase the sun down and you let it slip away, and the holy night is falling. Ain't you come a long way? Ain't you come a long way down this old road? Look at that old photograph. Is it really you? Thank you.